Okay, let's get started. I am Neil Thompson, and welcome to everyone around the world. And this is our first Raise Your Belief Level teleseminar of 2010. And it's going to be a very, very special one tonight because tonight we have Mr. Sen talking to us live from Chiang Mai, Thailand. And he's sitting in a coffee shop where every morning he goes for breakfast. And I know it's 10 o'clock in the morning there in Thai time. And he sits down there, and that's where he does his writing. And he told me that they make the best espresso that he's had in Asia there in this coffee shop. And so he's going to talk to us from this coffee shop. And so you're probably hearing some music in the background and people talking. And he's also going to prove to us today that you can be anywhere and do business. You can conduct your speaking arrangements, your seminars. You are everywhere now at the same time, and we're all here in cyberspace. And here I am in Vancouver, Canada, and all of you around the world. And here is Mr. Sen in Thailand, in Chiang Mai, Thailand, up in the mountains. And so to start tonight, as it's the first teleseminar of the year, I'll read out the letter we sent to all of you for tonight's teleseminar. And it's how to dream a beautiful life and not dread the future. Our days don't define us. And our days don't define us. Our dreams define us. Our dreams make our future. That is what Mr. Sen told us when we were talking to him in Thailand to prepare for this seminar. We're talking to Mr. Sen in Chiang Mai right now, and he said to us, your business is to make yourself into a perfect dream machine. That is your job in life. All we have to do is train our mind to dream the impossible dream, and then we will find there is nothing impossible. And we suggested he discuss this topic from Chiang Mai to all of us around the world in this Raise Your Belief Level series of talks commencing this year. So now I'm going to start off tonight's teleseminar by asking Mr. Sen a question. And so Mr. Sen is on the line, and welcome, Mr. Sen.
Hello, yeah,
Hello there, hi. The question is, how can I dream a beautiful life and not dread the future? You know that all sounds so poetical. And the problem is I want to do that, but somehow I can't seem to hang on to it for more than a few seconds. And, my second question is there a shortcut? By the time I read a book about all these things, by the time I get to the third chapter, I forget what the first chapter is all about. So I'll let Mr. Sen handle these questions. And if you have any questions after tonight's teleseminar, please send us the question, and he'll answer the question in the next teleseminar. So welcome, Mr. Sen, to tonight's call. And how are you enjoying your espresso?
Oh, thank you very much, Neil. You know what? I'm just about to pour Earl Grey tea in my beautiful glass cup.
Oh, wow, beautiful.
And it's a beautiful cup. The pot looks like a Dalmatian, or the spots around, dog. And here I am. You may be hearing trucks passing by. It's an open-air cafe. It's called Puppy Cafe. It's right in Mulakat Road or someplace here, and just across where I'm living right now. Every morning I come and have my breakfast, as you said. And right now I'm having my Earl Grey tea and talking to you. The reason I'm telling you this is nothing is impossible. That's a good tip.
I can taste that tip. Beautiful.
Oh, it feels good. Nothing is impossible. When I was a kid, my greatest dream was to have a bicycle rim, and which I can play with. And that was my dream, and I didn't even have it because I didn't believe in it. But later on, I learned to dream, and everything I've dreamt, including this moment, sitting in a cafe in Thailand. The area that in the whole area in the mountains. And what you're looking at is really the dreams that are unfolding. I've traveled the world. I have done what most people couldn't dream about. Why? Because I am going to tell you the things I did, the 4 proclamations. It's all in the ancient secrets of success. And something more. Let me tell you what happened. Your first question is what? Can you repeat your first question?
Yes, absolutely. First question is, okay, how can I dream a beautiful life and not dread the future? You know, that all sounds so poetical. And the problem is I want to do that, but somehow I can't seem to hang on to it for more than a few seconds.
Now, tell me, your predicament, your situation, is giving you something beautiful. Which story relates to what you're saying right now in the ancient secrets of success?
You know, I think it's the scorpion and the frog story.
You are right on the button. Right on the button.
It's that.
You see what happened? You see, the frog was there, all the knowledge and all the information. The frog can swim, go underwater. The frog can be on land. The frog never, ever chases his food. It sits there, sticks his tongue out and gets his food and brings it to his mouth. On the other hand, the scorpion can only stay on land. And he goes up to the story goes, he goes up to the frog and says, hey, can you help me swim across the river? That's the river. Across the river means the land of your dreams that you wanted to be. And the frog says, but I can't. You'll sting me. That means I can't cast pearls before you because you will trample on it and then again turn around and rend me. So he says, but you'll sting me. But the scorpion was very smart. He said, if I sting you in the middle of the river, you will die. Yes. And so I can't swim. So I'll drown. So why should I sting you? So he says, okay. I'll hop on my back. The frog was kind, as all great teachers are. So he hopped on the back of the frog, and the frog started swimming towards the dream or the other bank of the river for the scorpion. The scorpion could not handle it. When he saw the distant dream come nearer to him and nearer to him, the bank of the river was coming closer and closer. He couldn't handle this anymore, and he just stung the frog. The frog looked up and said, did you too? He said, I don't know. I said, we are both going to die. So that was the end of the dream of the scorpion. That was the end of his teacher, of his method of teaching that could have taken him there. His belief level was also destroyed. This is a very powerful story. It has many applications. This story has been told over and over again by so many people around the world. It's as ancient as time is. That's another sip of Earl Grey. So the whole idea is, Scorpion had a vision of a perfect life. The frog has the raised belief level, which gave him permission to dream. The instinct is the sting that we carry with us. Our instinct is our memory of the past. Our belief level that we are accustomed to. We are changing belief level. So the solution, we are going to come to the solution. I just gave you what happens, as you said, in a graphic way, in a story form, so you remember that when you're reading Ancient Secrets of Success, don't be like the person who was trying to go to Calcutta. Okay, that remember the story of going to Calcutta?
Yeah,
that story where that man was going to Calcutta and he was going halfway from his village, and he met a person and he says, "Hey, where are you going to?" So he says, "I'm going to Calcutta." He says, there's a better route than this. So go back to where you came from and follow this route. So he went back and he was going that way too, and so he was going down the path and he says, "Hey, what?" And he asked the person, "How far is Calcutta from here?" "It's quite a distance, but why are you taking this route? Why don't you go back to where you came from and go to that route?" So he went back and started on that route. Then he met a couple that was walking down from Calcutta on the road. And he says, "What happened? Is this close to Calcutta?" He says, No. You go the other way. This man never ended up in Calcutta. So we have many routes. We have many ways to reach our destination. You have to follow one single way. First, find the right way. Now you have to use the Google of your heart and find the right way and follow that. Because if you change your path every single day, you will not reach anywhere. The next story I'm going to tell you is about this. There was this man sitting in the temple, and with a priest, holy man, and praying. And a young man came and says, "Hey, can you teach me how to be rich? Can you show me how I can become rich?" And he says, "Yes, I can." So show me then. And so he said, okay. He took him to the bank of the Ganges and actually took him down to the river. At the middle of the river, when his neck was submerged and his head was up the river, he caught his hair and dunked it under the river. And do you know what happened? This guy struggled and struggled to come out of that river. And then when he was going to take his last breath, he pulled him out. And when he pulled him out, he said, "What did you do that for?" He said, "How much did you want your last breath?" He says, "With all my life." He said, "When you want to be rich, same way as you wanted your last breath, nothing in the world can stop you from being rich. Being rich is not a wish list. Being anything is not a wish list." So that is the reason why the 4 proclamations were given. The 4 proclamations were given for only one reason: to train your mind to dance with your heart and not lead your heart. Life is a tango. A tango, the 2 dancers in the mind and the heart. But the heart is supposed to lead the mind. But now it's the other way around for most of us. We try, our mind leads our heart. So that's what happens. The first thing, it is the heart wants it to be rich. The mind negates it. The mind negates only when it cannot remember if it has the experience of achieving it. The mind also negates it if it does not believe in it. Why doesn't it believe in it? Because it has no previous memory of it. The mind can be compared to our computer. If the software is not there, it cannot process it. What can we do about it? We know, as we think in our heart, so are we. There is one catch. We need the agreement from our mind to think the thought our heart wants to think. The mind sometimes refuses the entry of the thought. And you must have all noticed it. What can we do to get this agreement from our mind, especially when the mind has no previous experience of this thought? Like you want to become a multi-millionaire, or becoming an international best-selling author, or a great speaker, and a romantic poet. It has experience most of the time of failure, of not completing anything in life. It has experience of the things, and that overwhelms the mind, and the heart is told you can't have it. So the heart cannot think the thought. So that's why the 4 proclamations were given. And the 4 proclamations, without training the mind with the 4 proclamation and to believe in that power, will be going through very difficult, steep climb on a very slippery slope. We can read all the books. We can go to all the seminars. But the question is, can we get the agreement without any hesitation from our mind? So you see, the masters gave a shortcut method to their students, both in the East and the West. So you don't have to go to the 3rd chapter and forget what the 1st chapter you read. All you have to do is take the 4 proclamations. And the first proclamation is understanding, knowing the truth, is knowledge. Consciousness is the creator. But that is not possible for you to understand. So the second proclamation gives you the understanding, the belief, yes, consciousness is the creator. Even if science, when it tells us that the consciousness creates our reality, that is scientific today. Matter is not a thing, but the mind still cannot believe it, even if you rely on science. Matter is not a thing, as Dr. Heisenberg says. First proclamation is knowledge, the truth. Second is understanding. The belief level is raised. When you touch, see, feel, know, and what smell, taste, anything, you feel that of everything is consciousness. You will get absolutely euphoric when you feel that way. The third proclamation translates an understanding into wisdom. Yes, my individuated consciousness is creative. It creates, it brings in the substance, it also creates. That's why Carl Jung and the others talked about law of synchronicity. Why? Because consciousness is so powerful, it will put together everything necessary to give you what you're conscious about. That's why it says, my consciousness is the creator. Creator doesn't mean you take over everything. Creator means you create. We are all creative beings. Everything in your life you have created. There is nothing there that you have not created yourself. And the fourth translates into wisdom. The wisdom is translated into unity. You become one with consciousness, and then the mind submerges into it, like when a man and a woman completely unites together. There is no difference. There is no separation anywhere. It's called complete union. That is always represented in every culture with the union of man and woman. from the Bible to the Vedas to everywhere. That is the most powerful thing than when you say, I am, and everything drops off. These 4 proclamations is given step by step in Ancient Secrets of Success. And if you don't want to be like the traveler to Calcutta, if you stick on that path and follow this system, and in this coming year I'll have a whole course on the 4 proclamations. I'll have a full course for the membership on the 4 proclamations as soon as it's all set up. Because this is so powerful. Like I started off my talk, I'm here in Chiang Mai, Thailand. And my greatest dream when I was a child, a kid in Calcutta, was to have a bicycle rim to play with. Now, my toys are different. My toys, I'm sitting in front in the coffee shop having Earl Grey tea and talking to you around the world. And my home right now is, 24 hours flight time from here, at least 15 hours from Taipei to Vancouver, and then 5 hours from Vancouver to Vancouver to Toronto. And from Chiang Mai to Bangkok is an hour, 15 minutes. And I don't want to bore you with all the things, but the reason I expressed it, from Bangkok to Taipei is another 3.5 hours. So you see, and I'm talking to you around the world, nothing is impossible. When you can dream the impossible dream, the word impossible falls away. Then your dreams define you. We can't dream without, we have to train the mind. Those 4 proclamations and the stories are so important. You cannot emphasize enough on it. What was your next question?
The next question was, is there a shortcut? But by the time, which you have been addressing it very well, but by the time I read a book about all these things, by the time I get to the third chapter, I forget the first chapter.
You won't believe it. Don't take this lightly. You never know. These 4 proclamations, actually, there are versions. When I do the course, I'll show you the Western version, the Chinese version, now you have the Eastern version. All of the masters, from Pythagoras to the Vedic teachers, from Moses to, you can say, Aristotle, they all taught Descartes. They all taught these 4 proclamations in different versions. It is not exclusive to any part or culture in the world. This is the power base, and this is the shortest cut. We didn't have Barnes and Nobles, and we didn't have chapters and Indigo bookstores and Amazon in those days in ancient times. But don't you see, all the books, most of the books that have been written are in reference to that. All the knowledge comes in from there. See, man came first. Books came after man. And the information is in man, not in the book. You have to translate the book, even if you know the language, into your human language of the heart. And that's what that's what happens. Okay, see, here I'm in Chiang Mai, and I'm telling you 4 proclamations. We'll have this course, and we'll make this announcement sometimes in early February, mid-February. And this course will be on the 4 proclamations, how to imbibe it in our heart, complete meditation on it, complete imprinting it in our being, and showing it from all angles. So it's a universal concept. It's a concept of man, the humankind, of humankind. Okay, so I think I have finished.
Well, that was fantastic, Mr. Sen. Thanks for your wisdom, and that was beautiful. And we'll let you get back to your Earl Grey tea. I know it's beautiful.
It's getting cold.
That is
but
fantastic.
Anyway, don't forget the story of that man who wanted his last breath to survive his life. Whenever you want anything with that kind of force, the universe bows to you.
Boy, that's fantastic.
Go ahead.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Sen. Oh, that is something to really remember. Next week, Mr. Sen, he'll be taking that long flight back he was telling you about from Asia to his hometown in Toronto. So teleseminar, we won't have one next week, but we'll have one the week of the January 27th. And we'll send you out an email about that. And tonight's teleseminar has been recorded live from Chiang Mai. So you'll receive the email in the next few days about tonight's recording. And as always, please forward this email to your friends, your relatives, and anybody else in the world you'd like to share it with. And also get them to join into the week of the January 27th teleseminar. And they can listen anywhere in the world online with no long-distance charges. So thank you, Mr. Sen. Good night. Adieu. Avida Zain.
Good night.
Sawat Di, which is a really bad pronunciation for goodbye in Thai. I looked that up. And we'll talk to you in 2 weeks. And thank you, Mr. Sen, for taking the time out to talk to us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good morning here.
Good morning. Yes. Bye.